This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so I guess we'll start the session. Okay. So there are 32 of you, including me, in this session. Fine. Okay. If there's any others, they will join in. Okay. Now this GST. So since we are going to learn about this GST in Tally. Okay. Now before I proceed with this session, can everyone hear me? Am I audible? Is my voice breaking, or am I audible? Or if my voice is not proper, you're not able to hear me, is it fine? Just answer me, comment, chat, or do say something. Is my voice audible for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you. All right, fine. Now, so since we are going to learn GST, so before I go on to explain and give you a small brief introduction about GST, one question to every one of you. All right. Now, does anyone know how to work on Tally, or does anyone have the idea of working in Tally, or is it the first time that you're working on Tally? Anyone? Any doubts? Like, I mean to say, like, this is the first time you don't know anything about Tally, or do you know about Tally? Hmm?
Tally is accounting software, sir. We have learnt it, sir, but we have forgotten, sir.
Okay, so all right, fine. So are you aware of how to create companies and ledgers and groups? Any that small part of it, creating of
Yes, sir.
companies.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
yeah, fine. That is fine. That is fine. Now, so let's proceed with that thing. All right. So yes, as one of you said, Tally is an accounting software. Yeah, good, fine. Now, what is accounts? What do you know? What do you mean by accounts? How? Let's say, for example, I am just a normal person, okay, who don't know anything about accounts or nothing of it. Okay. So how will you explain or how can you define accounts? What is accounts?
Maintaining records, sir.
Maintaining records. Okay, so what kind of records? What kind of records can you maintain?
Day-to-day transactions in business.
Fine, that's right. That's good. Fantastic. Okay, so in simple words to say, it's recording of your business transactions or your day-to-day transactions in a systematic manner. That's what is accounts. Okay, so when we deal with accounts, there are incomes, there are expenses, profits, loss, assets, liabilities. There are a lot of things that come into the picture. Okay, now when we talk about GST, okay, GST is one type of a tax, right? Now, this Tally application, okay, it was started in around 1985, 1985, 1986, something like that. It started, okay, and since then, there were a lot of versions which were brought in, which were started. Okay, Tally 4.0, Tally 4.5, Tally 5.0, 6.3, 7.2. There were a lot of versions. Okay, in each of these different versions, all right, there were what you say, uh, what we can say is that there were different kinds of features which were involved in it. Okay, there were different features which were brought into this applications. Okay, as you see, as you can see on the screen, Tally 4.0 was the first version where it was used in DOS, disk operating system. Okay, that is wherein you have this before Windows, before you have this color screen, right? You had these black and white screens. Okay, so there you had these DOS that wherein it uses only commands. Okay, that's why we have it here as CUI, character user interface. So 4.0 and 4.5 were the versions which are started in this DOS version, and 5.0 is a version wherein it started to work in Windows. Okay, so each of these different versions were brought in or introduced with different kinds of features in it. Or let's say, for example, if you take your WhatsApp, okay, at the earlier when WhatsApp was introduced, it was only for chatting. Then let's say next they started to introduce us to put the status. Next, voice call, video call, like this one by one it started. Okay, same way here in Tally as well, there were certain features which were added in it. Okay, so if you see Tally ERP9 is a feature in which GST was introduced. Okay, ERP means to say enterprise resource planning. Okay, enterprise resource planning, Tally ERP9. Okay, in this version, the GST was introduced. Multilingual, it's basically a kind of a multilingual application. That is what it means to say is that various languages can be was used, and also this remote access capability. Remote access capability is nothing but it's simple like your Gmail itself. For example, your Gmail account, you can log into any system, anywhere, any place. You can just put your ID and password, your Gmail account, your mails pop up. Same way, you'll be having a tally.net ID and a tally.net password. Using that ID and a password, you'll be able to log into your same financial transactions or your accounting transactions from any system, from anywhere. Okay, that was the main feature which was introduced in Tally ERP9. Okay, GST was started basically in this Tally ERP9 application itself. Right now, to introduce, let's say for example, now does anyone know how to install this application, Tally application? Anyone? Or you're not sure of how do we install this application?
Tally solution.in7.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so I'll just show you. Okay, now, okay, this, let's come off the screen. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, so here we write www.tallysolutions.com. Okay, that's the website wherein we'll install the application. So the right now, okay, in the month of November, there was a new version which was introduced, which was started. Okay, that is called as Tally Prime. Okay, Tally Prime is a bit different from Tally ERP9. Okay, I guess you, as you said, you had some hands-on practice before in Tally. So I guess you had practice on Tally ERP9. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, fantastic. So I'll be showing you from ERP9. It's almost the same, just there's only small differences itself. There's nothing to break your head. It's very small differences. Only the names are changed and some few shortcut keys. That's it. Okay. Now, so yeah, we'll go on to download. So here on this screen, here on the right hand side top, I have this option called as download. I click. Again, I get this as Tally Prime and download thing. I download. As usual, you have the setup file which will be downloading. That is at the left side bottom. You can see the setup file. Okay, and I click it and I start running it. Okay. Fine. So it will ask me to whether you want to install it or not, and I say it as yes. And again, I get another screen there. Okay, yeah, this is the screen. Yeah, so this is the screen that I get it. Okay, so what you say is you just say configure. Since I already have this
The
application.
screen is not.
1 second. Okay, 1 second. Okay. All right. Just give me a minute. There are multiple screens here. That's why. Okay. I guess now we can see. Yeah. So what I do is if I just say, since I already have this application, it's giving me these options. So if I just configure, it shows like this: desktop, shortcut name, these things. Okay. So, but before I proceed with this, yeah. So before I proceed with this, what we do is first your system, Windows. Okay, you have to be in Windows, and it should be more than 32-bit operating system. Okay, basically operating system is nothing but
Excuse me, sir.
yeah, tell me.
Sir, which is this version?
Tally Prime. This is the next
Means
version.
this
This is the next version of
is
Tally
the latest
ERP9.
version, sir.
Yeah, it is the latest version which was released from last year. So we started to work on from in the month of November.
Okay, sir. Thanks, sir.
Okay, so yeah. So since I've already installed it, okay, it's already installed, so that's why I'm getting these options. So as usual, you know the basic install procedure, where you have to just say click on install, say continue, okay, and finish next. Within 5 minutes, the application would be installed. Okay, simple procedure itself. Okay, since already it is there, I'm just procedure. I'm just going on with this. That's it. Okay. So yeah. Okay, so once you have installed the Tally Prime application, okay, just a minute. Okay, fine. So yeah, so once you're installed, you will get the Tally Prime icon wherever you had installed it, whether it's on the desktop screen or anywhere. So once I start it, it will run like this. Tally Prime that is still run, and immediately it will show you this particular screen. Okay, just yeah, this is the screen that you get. Okay, it is totally different from Tally ERP9 screen. Okay, So as usual, even in Tally AP9, whenever you are when you open Tally AP9, this is the screen you get. Work in education mode, activate your license, deactivate your license, okay, get a rental license, right? That's what you get it in Tally AP9. Okay, even in Tally Prime also you get the same kind of options. Okay, continue in educational mode, use license from network, reactivate your existing license, activate new license. These are the same options that you have. Okay, now what's the difference between the licensed version and the educational version? Anyone? I guess you have worked using the educational version itself. So what is the difference between the application that you're downloading for free and the one which you have to pay for the license? Any difference? What's the main difference?
The
Sir, if
license,
we are using it for a company or for any business, we have to use the paid version of Tally ERP9. If it is for education purpose or training purpose for the student, we have to use education mode.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Answers. Okay, fine. But what are the main difference? Why? Even the same software, this educational version also, I can use it for my business. But there's only one problem in that. There's one problem in this. What's the difference? One difference. Anyone? Have you, when you work in Tally ERP9, when you're passing the transactions, there's one thing that you cannot do. What is that? Hmm? Anyone? While passing the Tally ERP9, in Tally ERP9 when you're working, okay, in the educational version when you're working, okay, and when you are passing the transactions, there's one thing that you cannot do. One thing you'll be facing difficulty in that. What is that? Anyone? Okay, fine. The one difference is that the dates. Okay, in the educational version, you can only use 3 dates: the first, second, and 31st of month dates. Only these 3 dates you can use in the educational version. Whereas in licensed version, you can use all the dates. Okay, and there are some small features we can't use in Tally in the educational version, but in licensed version you have all the features to use, and also the dates also can be used. All the dates can be used. Okay, so if you're passing any transactions, okay, if you're passing transactions in Tally, okay, if you see the dates, okay, if you try using apart from using the dates 1, 2, and 31st, try using other dates, it will not accept, it does not go on, it does not proceed with the transaction. Okay, so the main difference between the educational version and the licensed version is the dates, right? Only the first, second, and 31st dates can be used in the educational version, right? Yeah, any doubts in this? Any doubts in the differences? Anyone?
No, sir.
Okay, fine, let's proceed. Okay, so yeah, so once we start the Tally Prime application, this is the screen that you get. So since it's an educational version, since I've not purchased my license or anything, I just say continue in educational mode. Now, while working in Tally ERP9, we didn't have much use of mouse. That is, when you're using the mouse, it is not much comfortable. You have to only use the keyboard, and most of the shortcut keys you had to use everywhere in Tally ERP9 and the before applications. But in this Prime, you have the option to use the mouse. Both mouse and keyboard can be used. Okay, so this Tally Prime is a kind of an application wherein it makes your job or makes your job a bit easier while working on this application by using the mouse and also the keyboard as well. Both can be used simultaneously. So I'm using the mouse and I just say continue in educational mode. And as usual, you get the companies here. Okay. Whereas in Tally ERP9, when you say work in educational mode, when you click on this work in educational mode, you get the first screen as company info screen. That is, you have the option to create company, shut company, and delete. Those kind of options, you'll get it in Tally ERP9. But in Tally Prime, once you click on work in educational mode, this is the screen that you get. Okay, so if you have already created some companies, all the list of companies will be present over here. Okay, so since if you, as you can see here, I have not created any company here. Okay, I have just installed the application now, so it is just like this. It's just an empty thing. There's no companies there. Okay, and above that you can see this orange line here, and it is highlighted in the create company section. So here you have the option to create the company here. And next, if you see below that, you have remote company. That is wherein you have, as I said before, in Tally ERP9, there was this feature which was introduced, tally.net ID and tally.net password, where you can enter the ID and password and you can log into company's data. Okay, the same company's data from anywhere, from any system. Next, specify path. This is specify path means to say whatever the company that you want to create, where it has to be gone and stored, where you want to go and save it. That's what this specify path means to say. If you want, you can create a separate folder, and that folder's link you can copy and paste it. Okay, or else you can select from a drive as well. Drive means to say that you have the C drive, D drive, E drive, and all, right? So currently it is in C drive. So what are the companies I create? It will go to the C user public tally prime data. So this is a place where my company is going to get stored. Now, if I want to change this drive, select from drive, and I can choose here whichever drive I want. I can choose it. Okay, so these are the main options that you have it in this tally prime at the beginning. Okay, so as usual, I'll use the same path which was previously. Now, okay, I just closed it. Okay, so this drive, okay, or the path or the place where you want to change, you can do it by from that option, particularly say it says as select drive or change path, something like that. Okay, any doubts in this? Any doubts in these options, in these 4 options?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. All right. So, and yeah, let's create a company. So I will create company. Yeah, and as usual, you have this company creation screen. As usual, just as you had in Tally API, the same way you will have it. The path where it is going and getting stored. Here, the company's name. So let's say I give a name for this company. Okay, VVN 9 to 10 30. Okay, and I just put it as GST. Yeah. So this is the name of my company. Okay, you can give any name. So right now I'm just giving this name, and I press the enter key to go to the next tab. That is the next listing. So what are the name you have given? As usual, as you know, in Tally ERP9 as well, it will be the same name for the mailing name as well. So I just change it. Something like this. And I'll put the address of the company. You can just put any address. I just put here. I just put it in short. Okay. Something like this. Okay, so you can go on entering the address of the company in multiple lines. Next, state. So previously in Tally ERP9, you had the option to select first the country. In ERP9, it was the option to select the country first and then the state. But here you have the option to select the state and then the country. So you can see on the right hand side, I select Karnataka, and obviously the country is India. If I want, I can change multiple company. I can change the country of it. So when I select the country, you know the base currency symbol rupees. So rupees will be the default currency for my company. So whenever I'm passing the transaction, it will take the rupees as my currency. Okay, so if I suppose, for example, I change the country to United States of America, see the base currency changes, and the state for USA also I can change it. Okay, all these are the states. Okay, but in ERP9 you didn't have the option to select the states for the other countries. In Tally ERP9 you had only for India you can change the state, but or you had the option of selecting the state, but for other countries you didn't have it. But for Prime you can select the state for any country that you choose. Let's say I selected United States, I got this Florida, or let's say I select here as Malaysia and I want to change the state. All the places at Malaysia will be present, so I can select it. Okay, so this is how it is. So this is one thing which is added in this. So I select Karnataka. Now next, pin code. Okay, next, all these details I can just randomly put, but I'm just keeping this off. And I come to the financial year. Okay, so automatically it is taken the financial year as 1st April 21. What is this financial year? Yeah, anyone? What do you mean by this financial year?
1st of April to 31st March.
Yeah,
It
that's right.
begins
1st April. Yeah, it is. Yeah, go on.
here.
Okay, fine. That's right. So basically the period in which you maintain your accounts. Okay, basically from 1st April to 31st of March of the next year. Okay, all the accounting transactions are recorded. Okay, and by the end of March, by March end, you have to finish off, or let's say you have to close off all your balance sheets or your profit and loss accounts. And the next, the April, you have to start with the next fresh accounts or accounting transactions. Okay, so basically here as well we have the option to select. So I select 1st April 21 and the book beginning from, that is the transactions, that is from when I have to start passing my transactions. So it will obviously be as 1st April itself. 1/4/2021. Okay, and I save it. So as usual, you get this accept yes or no screen. So you either press accept, or what is the shortcut key to save?
Enter.
No, I mean, yeah, if you press enter, yeah, it will accept.
Y
Suppose I'm
for yes, Y for yes, Y, no for N.
yeah, that is right. You're right. Yes, Y or no for yes for A, Y and no for N. Yeah, fine, good, agree. Let's say I'm here. Let's say at this pin code, I'm over here. From here directly, I want to save it. How do I do it? What's the shortcut key?
Alt S. Sorry, A.
Control A. It's Control A. Okay, Control A is the shortcut key to save. Okay, again I say either you can press accept yes, no, or press enter key, or you can also press the Control A. Control A is the shortcut key to save. Okay, so have you seen this screen? Okay, so once you save it, okay, you get this screen here. So have you seen the screen? Are you familiar with this screen? What is the screen? Are you familiar with this screen? Anyone? Okay. Now in Tally ERP 9, when you press F11, okay, yeah, in Tally ERP 9, when you press F11, what is the screen that you get?
Features screen.
Accounting features,
Config
accounting features, inventory features.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Fantastic. You get accounting features, inventory features, and statutory features. So basically, it is a company features that you get there. Same way here as well. You don't need to press F11 for this. Okay, so whenever you create a company, right? Immediately when you create a company and when you save it, you get the company screen, company feature screen. Okay, so right now I just okay, so I get the screen. So if you want any more options, that they are just showing only few options. You want more options, so you can see show more features. I make it as yes, I get more. Again, show all features. Again, I make it as yes, I get it. See all the features I get. Okay, so in as you have in Tally ERP 9, like what do you say, the accounting features, inventory features, statutory features. After you press F11, here you don't have anything like that separately. Let's say if you press in ERP 9, you have to press F11, and you want to go to accounting features, you press F1 or F2 for inventory features and F3 for statutory features. Okay, but here it is not like that. You just press F11, all the things will be placed here. Let's say if you see here itself, you have accounting, inventory, and taxation. That is your statutory features. Everything is present here itself. There's no separate thing as accounting features, inventory, or statutory thing. You just press F11, all the features will be present over here. Okay, so now what I do is, if I want, I can activate and deactivate certain things. For now, I'm just making this GST no. Okay, and let's say I don't do anything with this. I directly save it. Control A. Any doubts still here, girls? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. No, if you have any doubts, you can stop me there. You can ask. No problem with that. If I'm fast or slow, no problem. You just tell me. I will go on with it. Okay. Now, so as usual, you can see as you see the screen. Now this is how you get it. So here on the top left, you have the financial year, the date in which you're going to pass your transactions, and the name of the companies. All right. And if you see on the right hand side, you have the gateway of tally. So gateway of tally in ERP 9, okay, you had accounts info, inventory info, accounting voucher, inventory voucher. That is how you had it. But here it is totally different. You have here as masters, you have the option create, alter, and chart of accounts. This involves all. You want to create ledgers, you go here, create. You want to create stock groups, stock categories, or let's say you want to go on with go downs, you go here. Or let's say you want to alter the ledger, alter the currency, or alter the group, you go here. Or you want to display them, you come here. Okay, so there's a small difference that you have it from ERP 9 to Tally Prime. Okay, in ERP 9, you had here at the beginning, you had here as accounts info. Next, you'll have inventory info. And when you click on accounts info, when you get in there, then you will have the option as see groups, ledgers, currencies, like this options you'll have it when you go to accounts info or inventory infos. Okay, but here, if you want to create any kind of masters, you go to this option create. You want to alter them, you click on alter. Chart of accounts is used to display whatever you have created, you want to display them, that will be present over here. If you want to pass transactions, here you have the heading called as transaction, you come to this box. Okay, so this is how it is. There's a small changes. Okay, so these are the small changes. As we go on passing the transaction, that time you clearly understand how this exactly works, right? Now I leave this aside. Now, next, if you want to create another company, okay, let's say you want to create a company, or you want to select already an existing company, you want to shut a company, you want to delete a company, all these options are present over here in this first thing, Alt K, company. Okay, so when I click on this, or when I press Alt K, you can see here, create. This is used to create a new company. Alter. Whatever the company I've created, I want to alter it, I want to delete it, that you have it here. Change. Change means to say that, let's say if you have multiple companies opened here, you want to shift them or you want to change them. Okay, that time you use this change option. Select already created companies. Let's say you have created many companies already that you want to open it, or that you do the select company. And shut, that is you want to remove the company from here, use the shut option. Okay, same thing, Tally ERP9, what you had, the same kind of options you have it here. But in Tally ERP9, you have to press Alt plus F3, Alt plus F1 or F3 to do the things. In this, you just press Alt K, or you just click on this option, company. You get all these options here. Fine. Okay, to create a company, to alter the company details, or to delete a company, to change or to shift a company, to select an existing company, and to shut a company. These are the things that you can do. Fine. Any doubts in this? Okay, so I guess that's an yes. Okay, fine. Okay, so I guess you would know how to create again companies. Same way how we did it in ERP9 is the same procedure, but the options are all present in this particular tab or in this shortcut key Alt K. Okay, so here's a place where you create, alter, delete, shut, change, and select the companies. Now, so let's proceed. Now, let's come to this tally part later. Now, can anyone tell me what is GST? What do you know about GST? How is this GST works or what it is? Anyone?
GST is a goods and service tax, and it is introduced in the year 2017. and GST combined all the different taxes that was earlier in the government. That was direct taxes and indirect taxes. It combined all the taxes into one roof, and there is now a central tax and state tax and integrated tax system in the country. So GST helps all the stockholders and the suppliers to smooth their activities, and government also can get the tax more easy way. Earlier there was different taxes which confuses the people to give the tax, and the suppliers to get the tax, and this is the tax which is the direct tax on sell the item, not on production, only on the item which sold by the supplier or the producer. That's all.
Oh, wow, fantastic. Wow, that's good. That's a nice answer. Okay, I guess you were reading it. I guess I don't know whether you were reading it or not, but fine, good. Nice answer. Okay, yeah, she was right. That was the right answer. Okay, so goods and service tax. Okay, which was introduced in the year on 1st July 2017. Okay, wherein it removed all the different types of taxes, and there was only just one type of tax which was brought in. Okay, so that we don't have much confusion of what tax to pay or when to pay, or let's say all the, what do you say, the tax rates or the different kinds of rules that you have. Okay, so as she was saying, yes, that's right, GST, it's a single tax or a single nation. Okay, as you can see the definition here, which I put here just as part of the GST here. It's a transaction based and it's a technology driven kind of. Okay, so if you see the act, GST Act says what to do, the rule says how to do, and the constitution says what we can do legally. Right now, this GST, okay, is led or is taken care by two of them, the state finance minister and the union finance minister. These are the guys who take care of this GST, and this, it's particularly, if you see, it says a GST Council. GST Council is basically a team, a group where it who looks or who manages all these GST taxes, these rules, the regulations, all these policies. All these things are taken care by these guys, the state finance minister and the union finance minister. Okay, they tell what to do, what when to do, and what not to do. Okay, these are the guys. Okay, so as yeah, she was saying what is GST and things. Okay, it's an indirect tax for the whole nation. Okay, it's a single tax for whole of our country, India itself. Okay, the before GST we had different kinds of taxes like VAT, sales tax, service tax, gift tax, so a lot of types of taxes. Okay, but GST is a one type of tax which will make India a one kind of a single market, one unified common market. That's what it said, one unified common market. Okay, so this GST is a single tax right from the manufacturer to the consumer. Okay, so everyone is taxed, no one is left out, everyone will be taxed. All right, now when we talk about GST, okay, fine. Now let's say take one example. Now I guess everyone has done shopping, where everyone will go to shop and do your purchases and things. After you do the purchases, you receive the bill. Okay, and when you see the bill, you have the tax there. Okay, and as I was saying, and as one of your student also, one of your friend also was saying, it's a single tax on all the goods and services. But when you see the bill, okay, when you receive the bill, you find two tax rates there. What is that? What is that tax rate?
CGST and SGST.
CGST and SGST.
Fantastic. So what is that CGST and SGST? What is that CGST? What is that SGST?
CGST is Central Goods and Service Tax, SGST is State Goods and Service Tax.
Okay, that's right. Fantastic. Central Goods and Service Tax and State Goods and Service Tax. So how does this work? What is that? So we are charged two times. So let's say if I purchase a mobile, okay, let's say everyone commonly we purchase a mobile. So when we purchase a mobile, let's say 18% is the tax rate for a mobile. Okay, so when it is 18%, why they are charging two tax rates? Let's say in that bill, when you receive, you have CGST 9%, SGST 9%. Why is that? Let's say you purchase, as I said, when you purchase a mobile, and mobile tax rate, for example, let's say it is 18%. Okay, and this 18%, instead of showing that 18% on the bill, why is it shown as two types of taxes, CGST and SGST? Why is it shown like that? Is it
Because it's
18?
within the state.
Okay, so since it is within a same state, you have that tax. Okay, so that 9%, it is split up. So where does this 9% go? What is that 9%? Let's say 18% is the tax rate. So that 18% is split up into two, 9 and 9. So where does this 9% go?
Half 9% to state government and 9% central government.
Fantastic. So directly when we are paying the taxes, when we purchase the mobile, okay, so when we purchase a mobile, and that 9% when you have in CGST and the 9% when you have in SGST, it directly goes to the central government and it goes to the state government. Okay, fine, that's right, fantastic. Okay, and now since you said when you're doing the transaction in the same state, let's say in Karnataka itself, I purchase from one of the mobile stores and they charge me 9%, CGST, SGST. Fine, correct. What if what if there's a purchase transaction or sales transaction going between two different states? At that time also, do you think CGST, SGST will work?
No, sir.
What is that then? What is that?
IGST.
IGST.
Fantastic. So what's the full form of IGST?
Integrated Goods and Service Tax.
Goods and service tax.
That's right, integrated goods and service tax. Right. So whenever there's a purchase and sale going between two different states, that time we use IGST, integrated goods and service tax. So this integrated goods and service tax is basically what happens means to say it is a combination of both CGST and SGST itself. Okay, so what basically happens is, what the difference means to say is that when you're paying taxes, that is CGST, SGST, when you're paying tax that is in the same state, that, as I said before, we directly pay to the central and state government, directly goes to the central and state government. When you're doing the IGST transaction, it goes to the tax GST Council. From there, they will split up to central and state. Okay, that's how it is. Okay, so when we are paying tax 9% here in Karnataka, in Bangalore, same tax, it won't be as 9%, it will be the whole 18% itself. The full 18% will be shown in the let's say in that bill. Okay, when you're doing the purchase or sale, right? So whenever you're doing a same state transaction, when you're purchasing from the same state, we call it as intra-state transaction. Intrastate transaction is a transaction which takes place within the same state, where the buyer is in the Bangalore and the seller also is in Bangalore. Both purchase and sale is happening in the same state. That time we say intrastate. That is called as SGST, and we say that involves SGST and CGST. If you're doing a transaction between two different states, let's say Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, that time we say it as interstate IGST. Interstate goods and service, integrated goods and service tax. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, when we are working on the GST transactions. Okay, so and yeah, again, if you see as the same explanation, it's an indirect tax. Since our independence, one tax, one nation, one market. Okay, for everyone, as I said before, everyone is taxed. All right. Now, can you tell me what are the benefits? Okay, let's say as a customer, as a consumer, okay, we being a consumer, right? How is it benefiting you? How is this GST benefiting you? Anyone? Or how is it helping you?
It removes cascading effects, sir.
Okay, what can you explain what is this cascading? What is that cascading?
I mean, it eliminates all the indirect taxes and double taxing, sir.
Yes, fantastic. It removes all the different types of taxes and one tax. Yeah, fine. Any other advantage? Any other advantages or benefits for us? How? Any other? Any other answers?
Earlier, we have to pay different types of taxes like luxury tax and VAT tax like that. There will be confusion for the taxpayer also. Now there is only one tax, so they can easily pay the tax without any confusion.
Fantastic. Okay, so yes, as she said, it's right. Okay, so it removes all the cascading effects. So cascading means to say all the different types of taxes. So before we had GST, we had to pay various types of taxes. If we had to do the, let's say, gift tax, service tax, where there were different types of taxes which were involved. Okay, which what do you say? Which does not makes us that which gives a lot of problem for us to pay the taxes. Okay, now and also here, as one of your friend also said, it's a single tax. Okay, wherein you don't have any other tension to pay, which is just one tax that you have to pay on all the goods and services. Okay, that's one. Okay, even for the government. Okay, even for the government, also in for the manufacturing sectors or the production industries, for everyone, for the business as well, for everyone it is benefiting. So as you see here, for business and industries, how it is benefiting them. Okay, easy compliance, that is easily they can what do you say, they can calculate their taxes. Uniformity of tax rates and structures, that is there's a neat explanation or the difference of breaking of the taxes. Removal of cascading, yes, as I said, removal of different types of taxes. Due to this, there's a lot of competition between the business, and it is a gain for the manufacturers. Okay, so like this, these are the benefits for the business and the industries. Now if you see for the government, central state government, it is easy for them to administer who's paying tax or who's not paying taxes. All those things can be easily administered by them. Okay, next, if you see better control on leakage, okay, no one can escape from paying the taxes, and higher revenue efficiency. Okay, due to this, okay, the government is increasing the revenue, right? So these are the three main benefits of for the government. And as your friends were saying, for the consumers, that is for us, it is a single and transparent tax. Okay, and it is relief from overall all the different types of taxes. Okay, so these are the main benefits of GST for us, that is for the consumers, for the business, and for the government. Okay, next we will see how this GST started, what are the procedures it had to go on, and the milestones and things. Okay, so here's how it is. Here's, if we see the cycle of it, that is how the GST started. Okay, if you see here, okay, on 14th June 2016, that was a time where they drafted the model GST on public. Okay, they wanted to bring on this GST, goods and service tax, on this public. They just wanted to implement it. Okay, so they had to take various approvals. Let's say from on 3rd August, they had to take an approval from the Rajya Sabha. They passed a bill. On 8th August, the Lok Sabha had to pass a bill, and on 8th September, President had to approve it. Okay, these after they approved it, okay, on these dates they approved it. So after they approved it, they wanted to form a council. Basically, they wanted to form a team, okay, who takes care of this GST. So on 12th September, they approved for this GST Council, a particular team. Okay, next on 16th September, they notified about the council, and on October 22nd and 23rd, they had their meetings. Okay, they had now and then they had various meetings. So that was the time first meeting they had, and okay, and they had drafted the model on 26th and 27th, and they bought different tax rates. Okay, there are different types of tax slabs, we can say. Okay, different types of tax slabs for each and every goods and also the services. So these tax slabs or the rates were finalized on 4th of November, and finally on 1st July 2017 they started to work on GST. Okay, so this is how GST started. This is how GST started, and we started to pay our taxes. Okay, so this is a small history of GST. Now, and yes, so as one of you were saying, It's a combination of indirect and direct taxes. So before GST, these were the different types of taxes which we had before GST. Now, if you see on the direct tax section, we have this income tax, wealth tax, gift tax. All these taxes were coming under direct tax. If you see under indirect tax, again there it was split up into two, central and state government. So central government, if you see, we had this custom duty tax, central excise tax, service tax. In state, you see VAT, luxury tax, purchase tax, and duty tax. So as you can see here, there were different types of taxes which were what we can say is that it was a kind of a confusion for each and every consumer or the customers over there. Okay, to avoid all these kinds of confusions and all these different types of taxes, they introduced this GST tax. All this were combined into one tax called as your GST tax. Okay, so why we use this GST? It is simple tax structure. Okay, it eliminates all the cascading effects. That is, it eliminates all the different types of taxes. That is, as you see here, this direct or indirect taxes. Okay, it's a technology driven system, and due to this there's an increase of revenue. Okay, so these are this is how the GST started, and these are the things which are taxes which are involved in this GST. Okay, any doubts till here? Anyone, any doubts till here? You want to ask anything else? Okay, so we shall proceed. Okay, now yeah, have you seen this number? It says your format of GSTIN. What is this GSTIN? Okay, what is this GSTIN? Or have you anywhere seen this kind of numbers, alphanumeric numbers? Anyone? No, not seen. Not seen, or no idea of what is this GSTIN?
We have seen it on shops, sir. They'll be writing on boards and all, sir, if you go for
Yes,
purchase.
fantastic, fantastic. So, what's the use of it? Anyone? What's the use of it? Do you have any idea of it?
I think that's GST registration number, sir.
Okay, you can say it as GST registration number or anything. Fine. So this GSTIN, what you have here, is given to each and every supplier. Okay, whoever is supplying goods or whoever is selling the goods. Okay, so every one of them, okay, selling or even purchasing, whatever it is, okay, whoever is selling or purchasing, okay, will be having this GSTN number. That is basically who's charging GST. Suppose if you go to a shop and if you purchase anything, and if he's charging GST for the items that you're purchasing, he'll be having this number. If suppose he's not charging any GST, he does not have that number. That's how you can get to know about it. Okay, so whoever is charging GST or whoever has this particular number, alphanumeric number, is a person who's registered under GST, and he is liable to charge GST to all the goods that he is selling or also is purchasing. Okay, so this GSTN number, this particular format or this GSTN number is just like your Aadhaar number or PAN number, we can say Aadhaar number or PAN number, just like each of us how we have our Aadhaar number or PAN number, same way this GSTN number. For example, if you take our Aadhaar number, we can see the government wants to see what all the bank accounts are linked to it. Okay, or if you see the PAN number, if you're paying your taxes or something like that, all those things can be checked by your Aadhaar number or your PAN number. Same way, this GST number is for the suppliers to see whether they are filing their GSTs or the tax rates to the government. That is GST Council, GST department. Okay, so as I said, it contains 15 characters. All the GST number will contain 15 characters, which include both alphabets and numbers. Okay? As you see here, the first two numbers, represent the state code. All right. Now, just a minute. Just give me a minute. Okay. Okay, so here I have all the list of state codes here. Okay, as you can see, these are all the list of state codes. Okay, so if you see here, whenever you see a GST number, if it is starting with the number 1, it means it is from Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, if it is from, it's starting from 3, it is from Pune. Okay, if it is starting from the number 29, it is Karnataka. 30, it is Goa. 33, Tamil Nadu. Okay, so each of this GST number, okay, are the first characters what you have on the GST number represents the state code. Each and every state is given with a particular GST code or particular state code of it. So this state code will be the first two characters present on the GSTN number. Okay, so currently here it is showing as 22. 22 is the state code of this. Okay, so now if we go, now if we see, let's say it says 22 here. So when you come here, okay, let's say 22 is the state code of Chhattisgarh. Okay, so it is a Chhattisgarh. That this GST number is for the Chhattisgarh. Okay, so like this, whatever the number of characters or whatever the number you have it on the GST and this thing, the starting two characters, it represents the state code. Okay, that's what it is. So yeah, so the first two characters are the state code. Next, you have the 10 digit or the 10 characters alphanumeric. This is nothing but the PAN number, the PAN number of the supplier. So basically, it contains 6 alphabets and 4 numbers. All right. So whoever is purchasing this PAN, I'm sorry, the GST number, his PAN number will be entered over there. Okay. So state code followed with the PAN number of the supplier or the person who is purchasing. Next, you have the default characters or the number. Here you have this entity number of the same PAN number, that is 1, and alphabet Z by default you'll have it here. And number 5, this 5 represent, it says check some digit, that is nothing but the number of branches that he has. Basically we say he has number of, how many ever number of branches that person or the supplier has under this GST number, that will be displayed over here. Okay, so 5 is the branches that he has. Sometimes there'll be alphabets, sometimes it can be represented by alphabets, also some numbers as well. Okay, so it depends on what are the number of the alphabet they give. According to that, they'll have the same. That is the GST number. Okay, so this is the basic format of the GSTIN UIN, GSTN number. Okay, again I say the first two characters represents the state code, followed with the PAN number, and you have the entity number and the alphabet Z, which is by default, and you have the number of branches, the check some digits. Okay, so this is the GST number, which contains 15 characters. Any doubts in this? Any doubts in this GST number? Okay, fine. All right. Now, what we will do is we will start activating. Now, let's come back to Tally. Now, in Tally, we'll see how we can activate this GST. Now, we saw this GST and this small introduction about it. Now, we'll see how to work on Tally. In this Tally Prime, how do we work on this GST sum? So, how do we activate it and things? Okay. Now, from this gateway of Tally screen, what I do is I press F11. So F11, as you said before, it is a complete teacher screen. So that is right. So I press F11. So I get this screen here. Okay. So F11, you have all the accounting features, inventory features. Now I'm working on GST. So I come to this heading called as taxation. Under taxation, you can see all the different types of taxes. GST, goods and service tax, TDS, tax deducted at source, TCS, tax collected at source, VAT, excise tax, service tax, all different types of taxes can be added or can be worked on. So right now we are working on GST. So I have to activate GST here. So enable goods and service tax. and make this option as yes. Okay. So what I did was, from gateway of tally, I pressed F11. I came to the screen. On this screen, I activate yes by for this option called enable goods and service tax, that is GST, and make this option yes. And I don't save it, I just press enter. When I press enter, I get another screen. Fine. Any doubts? Again, I repeat. Okay, again, I just come from the gateway of tally screen itself. So from gateway of tally screen, I press F11. I come to this heading called taxation. I go to this enable goods and service tax. I make this option as yes and press enter. I get this screen. So this is how I come to the screen. I have to press enter, only then I come. You don't save it, you just press enter, then you come here. Okay. Now, any doubts in this? Any doubts until here? The next step is with the same. Okay, I guess there's no doubts. Now, here there are few things which are very important while you activate GST here. Okay. The first thing, as you can see, it always asks the state. Okay, because it is very important. All right, as we were discussing earlier about this GST, we spoke about intrastate, interstate, that is transaction between two states or transaction in the same state and everything. That is very important while we enter here, because the first thing what we have to do is we have to enter the state that our company is currently present. Okay, so I can choose any state, but right now what I'm doing is I'm choosing the state as Karnataka. Since while creating the company, I selected the country as India and the state as Karnataka. Same way I'm selecting here as the state as Karnataka itself. So I select Karnataka, enter. Now, registration type. There are two types of registrations: regular dealers and composition dealers. Okay, to explain this regular dealers and composite dealers, okay, just a minute. Okay, fine. To say, yeah, fine. Okay. Now, to discuss about this regular dealer and composite dealers means to say is that this regular dealers are nothing but the normal suppliers, the regular suppliers who pay their normal taxes. Okay, you charge their taxes and you pay to the government and things. But composite dealers also are the same kind of persons who charge taxes. But what happens means to say these composite dealers basically have what you can say different different GST numbers at different states. For example, this supplier, he is presently in Karnataka and he has one GST number in Karnataka. Same way, he's also having different branches in Tamil Nadu, in Kerala as well. So in those states also, he'll have different GST numbers. In that case, we consider them as a composite dealer. Okay, here this particular person is considered as a regular dealer. So what I do is, here we are considered as a regular dealer. I have just a company in Bangalore itself, so I'm selecting as a regular dealer who has a single tax. So I select regular. Since I selected as a registration type as regular, I put this access to other territories as no. Suppose if I'm a composite dealer, okay, it'll ask me this option: you have changed the registration type from regular to composite. Need help to know what next? So what I do is I press yes. Okay, so here when I press access to other territories, I make it as yes, and you have other options. Okay, directly it will take you to another screen. Okay, 1 second. Okay, yeah, it takes you to this particular screen. Okay, when you're a composite dealer or anything, there's a lot of procedures that you have to work on. Okay, if you're a composite dealer, okay, there are certain things that where you have to put the different types of tax rates, okay, and from which all dates it is applicable from and things. Okay, so there's a lot of procedure when you're working on a composite dealer. Okay, if you're a regular dealer, okay, that is when you're charging your taxes on a regular thing. So I come back to tally. Yeah. So when you say you're a regular, you don't have any other options like that. You just proceed with the things. Okay, so I say registration type as regular, access to other territories, no, and I proceed. That's all. Okay, let's say I'm just a normal regular dealer. I'm not a composite dealer. Next, GST applicable. Since I'm passing my transactions, or since I'm working on my financial year from 1st April 2021, even the GST applicable from, that is the GST taxes, will be charged from 1st April 21 itself. So I'll just leave it as 1st April 21. Next, GSTIN UIN. So here I have to enter the GSTN number. That is my company's GSTN number. Okay. So since I'm in Karnataka, so the Karnataka's state code.
29.
Fantastic. So Karnataka state code is 29 KA. Okay. So what I'll do is I will start writing the GSTN number as 29. So 29 is the state code of Karnataka. Since I have selected the state as Karnataka, I'm putting as 29. And I will followed with the PAN number. Okay, so I'm just putting a dummy PAN number here. Okay, okay. So 29 was a state code, followed with the 10 character PAN number. Next, the default character 1 set, and let's say the number of branches, I'll just put it as 0. Okay, so 15 characters I have entered. Let's say after this I want to still enter anything, I won't be able to do. So as I'm typing, I can't go on. It's only 15 characters that I can enter here. 29 the state code, followed with the PAN number, entity number, default number, and the number of branches I put as 0. Next, since it's a dummy number, okay, I'll get this option here, verify GST number. Okay, verify that party GST number, you will get it on the right hand side. I just skip that. All right, fine. Okay, so once you have entered the GST number, next you have it. It says periodicity of GST are 1 quarterly, monthly. Now a question for every one of you. Now let's say let's take that you are a supplier. You are selling goods. Okay, you're selling some products, and you charge tax also for the customers. Okay, you sell the products and also you charge the tax for the customers, and you receive the amount and tax, and you also give the bill to the customer. Now, what is going to be the next step for the supplier, that is for you, to do with the tax amount or the tax that you have charged for the customers? What do you have to do? Okay, I'll repeat my question again. Okay, so let's take me, supplier. I am selling some items to the customers. So when I sell some items to the customers, I charge them GST and also I charge the price, and I collect the money and also I pay the bill to them. And in the bill they have the CGST and SGST. Now, what is the next step for me to do with that GST amount or the GST procedure? What is my next procedure or next step? What should I do?
To record the transaction.
Yeah, I will record the transaction in my manual book or in Tally or any application. I'll record it. That is fine. That is all later. Okay, or let's say I'll do it. Fine. Now, next, what is that? Okay, after that recording, what is the next step for me? What do I do? Anyone? What will I do with the GST amount what the customer pays me? What are the product I sell? I charge the GST is charged for that. Okay. Now, what will I do with the tax amount or the GST amount that I'm having? What will I do with the GST amount? Yeah.
We have to pay the tax.
Okay, so you mean to say the supplier has to pay the tax? That is
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If I am the supplier, if I sell any product to the customer, so I will be collecting the tax and having all the tax. I will be pay the tax to the government. So I will be the mediator between the government and the customer to pay the tax.
Okay, fine. Okay, let's keep that answer now. Now, can you tell me what kind of a supplier you are? Let's say wholesale. Okay, fine. Let's say your retailer supplier itself. Now, the goods that you have, let's say in your shop, you have some products and you're selling. Those products, from where did you get it?
From the manufacturer.
So when you purchase from the manufacturer, aren't you paying the taxes to him?
Yeah, he will be take the tax in bulk item for the bulk item. I will be take the tax for each and every product individually. I will be taking the tax.
Okay, so you mean to say all the tax what you are charging for the customers, you pay to the government, and also from the manufacturer when you're purchasing, you pay the tax to him. So two places you do the tax payment.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Any other answers? Anyone? Any other answers? Anyone? What would you do with the taxes? Okay, fine. So as you said, it is almost correct. Okay, so as you let's say for example, I purchase from the manufacturer. So when I'm purchasing from the manufacturer, I'm paying for the goods and also for the GST as well. I'm paying to him. Okay, and I have the goods with me. Now I'm a retailer, so I have to sell the items. So when I sell the items, okay, and I'm charging the GST from the customers. Okay, that tax, what I do is I take it and I pay to the government. That's what is the answer that she gave, that she said. All right. So basically, yeah, almost that is the one that basically happens. Okay, but what exactly happens means to say is that, okay, whatever the tax you do, right, whatever the tax that you collect will be with you itself. Okay, you just have to file it to the GST portal. Okay, that is basically you have to file those bills. Basically we call it as invoices. Invoices are nothing but called as your bills. Okay, so these bills, whatever the tax that you're charging for each customer according for the products and things, that tax amounts or the taxable products or the taxed amounts uh, will be filed in each of the particular GST portal we have. Okay, so whenever you're doing a sales transaction, okay, when you do any kind of a sales transaction, okay, you receive the amount, you receive the tax amount and everything, and also you give the bill to the customers, and also you will have a copy of a bill. Okay, or the bill, another word we call it as invoice, as I said. Okay, so this invoice, what we have to do is we have to file it to the GST portal. Okay, so whenever you do the sales transactions, okay, all your sales transactions, all the sales bills, all your sales invoices will be in this GSTR1. As you can see here on the screen, periodicity of GSTR1. Okay, GSTR1. So on a monthly basis, okay, on a monthly basis or on a quarterly basis, once in 3 months, monthly or quarterly basis, you have to file it to the GST portal. Okay, whatever the bills that you charge, that is the GST transaction that you have done, all your GST sales transactions, whatever you have done, will be filed in this GSTR1 itself. Okay, so in this GSTR1, all your sales bills, all your invoices will be filed either quarterly or on a monthly basis. Okay, everything, whatever you do, whatever the sales you do, whatever the taxes you are charging, everything has to be notified to the government, to the GST portal. Okay, so that is the reason why you have this GSTN number. So what I'll say is I will charge this GST or GSTR or this file this GSTR report or this invoices on a monthly basis. You can choose anything. It is depending upon the business or the company that you're working on. Either quarterly basis also you can file it, or on a monthly basis also you can file it. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll select it on a monthly basis. Okay, so these are the important things that you have to file. These are the important things which is required. The first part. The second part, what you have here, additional features. These additional features, most of the cases is not required. Okay, this, okay, when I'm passing, when we pass the transactions, that time I'll explain this, that time you'll be able to understand. Okay, so what I'll do is this additional features I will skip for now. When we are doing the transactions, that time I will explain to you, then you'll be able to understand it. Okay, now coming to the invoicing feature. So as I said, invoice is nothing but your bill. Okay, so now the bills, or let's say for example, e-way bill applicable. E-way bill is nothing but electronic bill. Okay, that is it basically contains the consignor details, consignee details, the transportation details, the mode of transportation, all those things will be available in this. All right, so this e-way bill I make it as yes. It is applicable from, let's say, the same date, whatever I have, a GST applicable date 1st April 21, the same date I'll put it over here as well. Next, threshold limit, that is on invoice value or taxable exempt goods value, taxable goods value. Basically, it will be on invoice value itself. Now, I'll explain you what it is. Okay, this e-way bill, that electronic way bill, that which I said, e-way bill will be charged. It basically contains the consignor details, the consignee details, the, as I said, the mode of transportation, how you're transporting the goods, the distance of transportation, all those details will be present in this e-way bill itself. Okay, so this e-way bill will be generated, okay, if my total bill value, when I do the transaction, if let's say if I purchase a TV, fridge, washing machine, mobile, all those things, if I purchase, and if it is going above 50,000, okay, if my bill amount is, or the bill is above 50,000 including GST, if it is 50,000, then the e-way bill will be charged. Okay, that's what it says, a threshold limit. Okay, you can change the threshold limit. Okay, the threshold limit can be changed. Okay, but here I'm just leaving it as 50,000 itself. So if my total bill value is 50,000, okay, this e-way bill will be automatically be generated. That's what it is. So threshold limit includes, that is the invoice value. Invoice value is nothing but the bill value. If my bill value is more than 50,000, then my e-way bill has to be generated. That's what this means. All right. Is it applicable for intrastate? Yes, for both intrastate and interstate, this is applicable. And for this as well, the threshold limit will be as 50,000. Next, e-invoicing applicable. This is not required. I just put it as no itself. Okay, so these are the most important things that has to be activated, and certain things you're not required to activate in your GST. Any doubts in this? Anyone? Any doubts?
So can you explain threshold limit once again?
Yeah, sure. The threshold limit I will explain. Okay, so this threshold limit thing, okay, basically this invoicing feature, as I said, invoicing is nothing but your bill. Your bill, the other name for your bill is nothing but your invoice. Okay, invoice is nothing but your bill. So this bill, nothing but the e-way bill. E-way bill contains the consignor details, the transportation details, how much of kilometer going, all those information will be present in this particular e-way bill. Okay, if you want to generate this e-way bill, okay, the bill value, that is invoice value, threshold limit includes invoice value. Either you can charge it on invoice value. Invoice value is nothing but the bill value, or you want to charge it on the taxable and exempted goods value, or only on the taxable goods value. This is what it is. So basically we charge the e-way bill. We include the e-way bill on the invoice value. Okay, so that is the bill value. So I select invoice value, and it is applicable from, that is, I will be charging it from 1st April 21 itself. Now, if my bill value is 50,000, then this e-way bill will be activated. Okay, suppose if I'm buying a mobiles, if I'm buying some stationery items, and if the bill amount is coming above 50,000, then the e-way bill will be generated. Okay, if I want, I can change. Let's say I make it as 10,000. Okay, that means to say, if my bill value, if my total bill value is 10,000, then the e-way bill will be generated. That is what it is. If it is less than 10,000, then the e-way bill will be not generated. Okay, so what I'll do is, by default I'll put it as 50,000 itself, the threshold limit. Okay, so if it is 50,000 and above 50,000 and above, then the e-way bill will be taken care, brought in during the transaction. If it is less than 50,000, the e-way will be not generated. Okay, this again, as I said, I will be explaining it in the transaction. While we do the transaction, each and everything will be understood by. Okay, now this part, have you understood here? Have you understood any doubts in this?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay, fine. And yeah, good. Students, do you have any other doubts in this? Any doubts you want to ask?
Also,
There's no any doubts you can ask. I can explain it to you.
Sir, in the periodicity of GSTR run, there are only options monthly and quarterly. Why semi-annually and all is not there?
I didn't get you. Monthly and quarterly is there, and what is not there?
Like semi-annually, like 2 months once.
Actually, we have only on monthly basis and quarterly basis. So we don't have 2 months once and things. We have only once in 3 months and only monthly basis. Only these are the two ways in which you can file your GST reports.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So once I have activated the GST, I just save it. That is, I press Control A, and again on this company feature screen, again I save it and make it as Control A. So this is how you activate your GST. Okay. So have any doubts you can ask. Okay. Just few more minutes left in today's session. Any doubts you have, you can ask me. Are you all?
Sir, e-way bill means what, sir?
Okay. E-way bill is okay. As I said, e-way bill basically it contains all the details, basically your transportation details. That is the person from whom the goods are going and to whom it is going to. That is nothing but the consignee details we have. This the person from whom the goods are sold and to whom it is being taken, who's buying it. That will be the one, and also how much of kilometers, what is the mode of transportation, okay, who's transporting it. All those details will be available in that. Okay, while we do the transaction, I will show you the e-way bill as well.
Thanks,
You
sir.
have the option to see the e-way bill as well. Okay. Any other doubts? Okay. If you have no doubts, I have a question for you. Are you all simultaneously working and doing, or just taking theoretically all the things? Theoretically taking the notes and things
Taking
what I'm
all
doing.
these theoretical things only, sir. We just don't have systems at home.
Okay, so how will you be able to practice this? Because the more you practice, then you'll be able to understand. Okay, I don't mind you doing theoretically, that's fine. Theoretically you can do it, take notes and things, yeah, fine, that is fine. what you have to do is you have to have more of practice. Okay, you see that for whoever has the systems at home, you can, as I said, you can go from the website and you can download it for free and things. Okay, and for the ones who don't have, you can manage. You can see anywhere possible for you. Okay, because you have to have a lot of practice. Only then you'll be able to clearly understand. But don't worry, I will explain A to Z everything for this GST itself. Fine. Okay. Yeah. Any other doubts? Anyone? Any doubts? Anything? Okay then. So yeah. So we'll stop the session for today. So it's time 10:30. So we will meet at the same time tomorrow as well at 9 o'clock, and we will proceed with the next part of the GST and the transactions. Fine, everyone. Okay. So have a great day. Take care.
Okay.